You're listening to S1Live, Sheffield's #1 student radio show.
Good afternoon and welcome to S1Live. You're very welcome to be here. With me, Tom. I'm here with Jade and Will. Say hello, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Excellent. How are you guys getting on? Okay.
I'm very well, thank you.
Excellent. Well, it's great to have you guys with us on this horrible, miserable Thursday afternoon in Sheffield. Coming up on today's show, we have Nadine Dorries MP. Should she be competing on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here? We've got Nightmare Landlords, and we've got our sports reporter Sam Ashu. He is down in Bramwell Lane. He's going to be talking about Roberto Di Matteo's sack shocking today. That's all coming up on today's show. But first of all, we've got some news with Rabia.
News. Students from Sheffield are joining a national demonstration in London today. The demonstration is set to focus on three aspects: education, employment and empowerment. Protesters are rallying due to employment, high student debts and struggling to get onto the property ladder. Hallam Union will be sending students down on the day and supporting the national demo as they believe the future of students matters. Heavy rain overnight has brought chaos to parts of England, leaving motorists stranded and several villages cut off. The Environment Agency has issued 51 flood warnings in the southwest and the Midlands, whilst 89 flood alerts have been issued across the rest of the country. Unfortunately, forecasters have warned that more heavy rain is yet to come. Young drivers may have to wait up to 9 months before being allowed to carry friends as passengers in their cars under new proposals being considered. Only family members will be able to ride with newly qualified drivers. The Transport Secretary is set to be looking at the proposals following a number of incidents involving young drivers. A spokesperson from the AA has spoken out against these proposals.
I think the idea of restricting passengers or only family members, I think the problem is it's pretty impractical. There's been a 29% drop in traffic police since 2003. And it would be very difficult for the police, even if they were out there, to spot if it was a family member or if it was just a youngster.
A spoof leaflet in the Crosspool area warning residents of venomous snakes on the loose has been confirmed as a prank by South Yorkshire Police. The leaflet warns of 13 exotic snakes on the loose which are highly poisonous. Police officers have carried out extensive searches on the area, adding that up to 6 posters have been removed so far. That's all from me today. Stay tuned for next week's show.
Hi, I'm Jade and you're listening to S1Live.
Excellent, thank you very much for that, Rabia. Right, we're going to move on and we're going to start to talk about I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Right, what's happened over the last couple of days? Well, comedian Brian Connolly has left the jungle. ITV have cited personal medical reasons for this, but the main controversy which still surrounds the jungle is that of Nadine Dorries MP. She's obviously the politician who left her constituency down in Bedfordshire to take part in the reality TV show. Guys, what do we think about this? Do we think it's a good thing, bad thing? Should politicians be in the jungle? Should we not? What do you think?
I think it's all a little bit silly, to be honest, because realistically, is she a celebrity? I mean, she's out there, been voted by the public to nominate, to represent their constituency, and she's there gallivanting in a jungle, making money off not doing a hell of a lot, really.
I think it's been really interesting to see how much her going into the jungle has split a lot of different people's opinions, you know, definitely varying from people thinking it's good, you know, I know she wants to talk about abortion and she's out there and she's trying to do that. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that are saying, especially with people fighting for jobs now and, you know, the fact that she's still an MP and stuff, is it money well spent? And I know a couple of people that you spoke to this week, you went out onto the streets to see what they had to say.
That's right, I did, and we're going to play some of those thoughts for you now.
I don't think it's the right way to spend sort of 2 weeks, not if she's wanting to help her constituencies.
It seems like she's run away from her responsibilities quite, and I don't know, I think it's just not really the kind of thing that should be done. It's kind of an abuse of the trust that's put in her by her constituents, I think.
I don't care, to be honest. No, I don't care for politicians either, or MPs, any of them.
No, as long as she doesn't do anything stupid, I think it's alright. Something like Big Brother, maybe not. I'm a celebrity, it's only 2 weeks. Don't do anything too outrageous.
Only time we should be seen on TV is in House of Parliament or on news, not on some corny little reality show.
If she wants to be gaining support, it's probably not the best idea. She's not in the right place, is she really? She should be here.
I suppose anybody's free to go in there, and I don't really see the massive controversy because I don't think she's doing anybody any harm. I could understand their frustration with her being in there. I'm sure this wasn't in a constituency plan to be eating kangaroo testicles on live TV.
Well, my MP is Nick Clegg, and I think a lot of people who he represents in Sheffield Hallam ward would say they can't think of a better place for him than in the jungle.
So quite a mixed variation there. I mean, what do you think that she is actually, 60 million people watching? Do you think she's got a better idea of publishing her ideas rather than in House of Parliament, Will?
I don't know. I think it's really difficult to say because ITV aren't going to let her just stand there and sort of dictate and tell everyone her opinion. So it's what she wants to do in there, which is discuss the things. Is that totally irrelevant because she's not actually going to get the opportunity to do that? She's spending her time doing these tasks and talking about sort of gossip as such and mundane things in the jungle and taking part in tasks. She's not actually doing something active in terms of what she wants to do, like say talk about abortion. I know a lot of people have been tweeting us and sending us your thoughts. Just something to think about. She recently did the Bush Tucker trial. Now, if you're thinking about the jobs that MPs do and things like that, I'm not necessarily sure this is what she had in mind when she first went in and decided that she wanted to be an MP.
It's impossible to chew. Oh
my God, you're doing amazing. Go on, go, go, go. No, don't do that now.
That's it. Keep it in. Keep it in. Don't waste it now.
You've done so well.
Is it down?
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, well done.
Oh my God, well done.
That's her eating a kangaroo foot. Now, I'm sure many people would like their local MP to do that, but I just don't think that, even though obviously it's part of the show and part of the task and stuff, I'm not necessarily sure that as a residing MP now, as somebody that is representing people in their constituency, that is necessarily something that she should be doing. And I know a lot of people are very cross that she's even ended up in the show, never mind doing the tasks as well.
Nadine Dorris is actually my local MP back in Bedfordshire, and there are a lot of angry people back where I live who think that she shouldn't be in there. So I'm a celebrity, I'm not a politician. It just seems like she's trying to enhance her celebrity status while seems to be forgetting the people who voted her in the first place.
Do you think she is she a celebrity? This is another discussion that people have been saying. It's a celebrity programme about people that are in the public eye and obviously have done something, but she's just in a position where, she represents people and they know who she is. So therefore, necessarily, she actually isn't a celebrity.
I don't think she is a celebrity, but I think obviously she gets a wider audience if she's going to be going on I'm a Celebrity. I mean, not many people sit there on a, most nights and watch House of Parliament, like, debating about what they think. But I guess maybe she can try and get her views over a bit more to more people, which I think is what her intention was, really.
Brilliant. Right, we've got to move on, guys. And the time check is 12 minutes past 3. You're listening to S1 Live.
Hi, I'm Jade, and you're listening to S1 Live.
Right, we're going to move on, and we have the fabulous Rayla. She's coming in to talk about horrible landlords. I think she is. Where is she? She should be coming in. Oh. Here she is. How are you, Rayla? Okay?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Get your mics up there. Excellent, fantastic. Right, we're going to play this in for you, Rayla, now. Okay, everyone give it a listen.
I went to meet Emily and Annie, who live in a student flat with 3 other students. They had a chat with me whilst cooking dinner about their horrendous experience they had last year in a shared flat.
We were put into a flat with 4 of us. There was 2 boys and 2 girls, all the same age. And it was really fun for the first couple of months. But then the 5th room got filled by a 35-year-old man from Iraq.
And it was very awkward because he didn't really speak that much English. And due to the fact, obviously, we left home last year, and with like homesickness and the first year of being away from your parents, it's difficult anyway, without this man coming in and disrupting it.
All his friends were really old as well, and I didn't really feel safe in my flat. I felt like I had to lock my door even when I was in the room. And he was very touchy-feely, and it was very inappropriate.
And I told the reception downstairs and the landlord, and they wouldn't do anything because apparently it was against his human rights. So they wouldn't do anything about chucking him out or anything. And all our parents rang up and they said that they couldn't do anything.
Iqbal Ilahi is a landlord who has 2 properties which he's been renting out to students for over 8 years. He says it's a two-way street and the landlords can't always be held responsible. He's had problems in the past with damage caused by student tenants. How do you feel about renting a property out?
I felt a bit apprehensive when I started rented my property out to students.
Why?
Because I've heard that students are a nightmare when it comes to paying rent and damages.
What problems have you faced with students?
And a few problems. I had a dining table broken by students, and a lot of complaints from the neighbours about noise through the night.
How long will you continue to rent your property out?
For quite a while, you see, because 90% of the students are great tenants. After years of experiences in the business, I can tell which are the troublemakers, so I try to avoid them. If students become a nuisance midway through their tenancy periods, I ask them to leave.
So where can students turn to when they are having problems with their landlords or their housemates? Here I am at the Sheffield Hallam hubs, where students can come to ask Andrew, advice coordinator, for some useful tips.
Hello. The first thing we'd say is the most important thing is sometimes choosing your house in the first place. So before you even move in, what we offer at the Advice Centre is that you can come and have your tenancy agreement checked before you signed it. And a good landlord will always let you be able to check the tenancy agreement before you sign on the dotted line. Because obviously once you've signed the contract, then it's very, very difficult for you to be able to get out of that contract. So if anything happens during the year in the house and you're dissatisfied, it can be almost impossible to get out without still owing the rent for the whole year. So it's very important to make the right choice straight away. So what we say here is don't panic about finding your house for next year. Come to us first, get your tenancy checked, get one of our booklets where you can gives you lots of questions that you can ask the landlord, and then make sure you're really, really happy before you sign the tenancy.
Well, next week Sheffield Hallam Union is actually putting on a housing fair. It's at the hubs on Tuesday at 10 a.m. The housing fair will provide you with the chance to meet reputable landlords and encourage you to not to feel pressured to sign up to a housing contract too early. We'd love to hear from you today on S1Live. Let us know your housing nightmares. Tweet us at S1Live.
Hi, this is Jen and you're listening to S1Live.
Right, the time is now 17 minutes past 3, and I believe we're going to Sam Ashu, who's down at Bramall Lane. Is that correct? A couple of technical difficulties. Basically, what we're going to go down today, we're going to talk about Roberto Di Matteo, who've of course been sacked as Chelsea manager after almost a year in charge. Sheffield United also drew 3-3 last night with Crewe Alexandra. He was down there and we're hoping, barring technical difficulties, he's been coming on. Any luck? Any joy?
Sam on the phone. We're just trying to get Sam on the phone to talk about this, but obviously, technically, it's gone down.
Okay, whilst we get Sam on the phone, we're going to move on to another story. We're going to talk about a particular story which we found in the newspapers this morning. Is that right, Will?
We did, yeah. Me and Jade have been looking at some of the stories that have been heading in the national newspapers, and we found that of crime and the way in which it's affected people and students.
Yeah, well, a teenage burglar has been spared prison on condition that he helps his mother with some light housework. 18-year-old Jamie Froome was told he can stay out of jail if he makes his bed, does the washing up, and is nice to his parents.
The drug user admitted breaking into 2 houses and was less keen on the sentence and said that he had given his mother an excuse to nag him. He added that he thinks the judge was a bit strict, saying that if he has to tidy his room or go to prison, but he did say that he's going to try and do this and that he didn't want to go to prison. Well, Froome's mother approved of the sentence, though, and said, "I quite appreciate it. I felt the judge was on my side." It's obviously quite shocking for a lot of us. I know when we first found the story, we thought it was obviously a really story to discuss. I know there's a lot of people that have been having problems in terms of burglaries and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's all a bit ridiculous, really, isn't it? I mean, surely people should be making their beds and helping around the house anyway, and not being given a sentence from stealing 2 houses just to do the things that you should be expected to do.
But you see, personally, if someone broke into my house, for example, and took jewellery, took my PlayStation, I wouldn't be very happy. I mean, I saw that person come to justice by doing chores around the house. I don't think he or she's going to learn their lesson, to be honest with you.
I think we're going to come back to this story in a minute. I think while we've got him on the phone, let's get back to the story we were speaking to a minute ago.
Sam, are you there? Can you hear us?
Hello, Sam.
Hello there.
Hello, mate. How's it going? Okay?
Not too bad, not too bad. How's things at the studio?
Yeah, not too bad, so we're doing all right. Very dry. Are you all right? Are you under some shelter?
Yeah, the sun's come out. I'm pleased to inform you guys.
Excellent.
So currently enjoying a bit of winter sun out here. Not tanning weather, but it'll do fine.
Excellent. Now, I understand you're down at Bramall Lane. Is that correct?
I am down at Bramall Lane. I certainly am, yes.
Excellent. What have you got for us?
Well, first of all, the biggest news of the day actually comes from London, as Chelsea have sacked their manager, Roberto Di Matteo. This is, I'd say, a somewhat surprising one, as Di Matteo won what I'd call the holy grail of football, the Champions League last year, and not to mention the FA Cup as well. And I came across some Chelsea fans earlier, and I'd hope that you've got some clips there as to what they had to say about the matter.
We do, Sam. We're going to play them for you now, all right?
Personally, I think it's a joke. I think the owner's got a bit of an issue. Roman Abramovich doesn't seem to give anyone a chance. He bought Champions League trophies to the club for the first time, won the FA Cup. Had a disappointing finish to the Premier League season, finishing 7th.
I'm good, to be honest, and I think he should be given more time. They sacked him quite early. I think they should have given at least 6 more months to see how he gets on. At least to the end of the season, to see if it was a successful season. Obviously, they were going out of Champions League, and that is obviously a big blow because they were the actual holders of the Champions League. So
it's poor last season. It shouldn't be built on this season. It should be given time to build. You look at other clubs that build on stability. It should be given him the time.
So Sam, what's your view on this? Do you think that Di Matteo was sacked a bit prematurely, or do you think Abramovich has lined up a bigger name?
Tom, personally, I've got to disagree with Abramovich on this one. As a chairman, I'd say that the Russian pined for a Champions League trophy for years. And last season, he finally got his wish. And now, a few bad results later, a couple of draws, a loss against West Brom, fair enough. But the man that granted that wish is now collecting his P45. I can't believe it myself.
So who are you putting your money on to get the job?
Well, it would seem, having a look at the odds earlier, that Rafa Benitez is the 8-15 favourite. Now, there's not too much value in that, as our friends at Betfred would tell you, but I will say that it does look like it's going to be him. So if you fancy a pun, Rafa's probably your man. Now, as for Sheffield United, it was goals last night as the Blades managed a 3-3 draw with Crewe Alexandra. I must apologise about the van that is reversing behind me. It's not my fault. I will have a word with the guys. But the Blades were 2-0 up and found themselves 3-2 behind after 3 goals in what was a pretty mad 5 minutes.
Okay, Sam. Right, we're gonna have to leave it there, I'm afraid. But thank you very much for having us. Cheers.
Cheers, Tom.
Cheers, mate. Ta-da. Right, and now Will, you can go.
We're just going to return to the story that we were discussing before we had a few technical difficulties with Sam. A great report from him. It's talking about the burglary and the gentleman in question, whose name, Jamie Froon, 18. He was sentenced to a judge for breaking into 2 houses and burglary. We've been trying to discuss and get some thoughts on you. If you've had anything to do in terms of your house has been burgled or anything like that, please do get in contact. I believe Jade's got somebody on the phone that wants to discuss this. Jade?
Yes, we've got Vicky Ashdown on the phone who recently got burgled, actually. Have we got Vicky? Vicky's on. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, Vicky.
Hiya.
Hiya, could you just tell us about your experience, please?
Yeah, it was on bonfire night, it was. We got burgled. Basically, a couple of fellas came in through the kitchen window and we were all sat in the front room, literally none the wiser. They came in, took 3 laptops, 2 sets of car keys, so they got off with 2 cars and then 2 bags and a couple of purses as well.
Oh, no, that's awful. And did they ever end up catching the person?
No, they've not caught them, but I was just listening to the story and I would actually be horrified if the police caught those guys and all they got was washing a couple of dirty dishes. I would kick off.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be satisfied with the conviction?
No, I think it's ridiculous.
What advice would you give to anybody who was in the same situation as you? Have you been given any help or anything?
Well, we just contacted the police straight away, and they came round and they dealt with it really well. But obviously, they've not had any luck catching the burglars yet. But just keep locked up, is all I'd say. We were in the house when it happened, and honestly, they were in so quickly. And because when you're in a student house as well, everyone's in and out and banging around and stuff, and you don't really think anything of it.
Yeah,
so just keep locked up, that's what I'd say.
Yeah, you hear these stories all the time, especially with students, don't you? Well, I'm sorry about your experience, but thank you for sharing it with us anyway.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you to everyone that sent in your Twitter thoughts. We do read them all live on air. Thank you to everyone. A lot of response initially to the MP story. I know a lot of people were discussing it, so thank you for sending us those. Also, a lot of people discussing the things that have been happening with Vicky as well. So thank you for sending us all your thoughts. And we do read them. We'll hopefully try and read some out later on in the show.
Excellent. Right, thank you very much. That's coming up next week. We have arranged marriages. Are they correct? We've got Rabia coming in. She's going to do a lovely bit for us. But until then, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Bye-bye.